Relationship advice. Update: I found out my fiancé is with me for my money/family business. Original story. To preface, my family owns a business that is very well known in our sector and makes loads of profit. Thus, I am a trust fund baby. I try to not be spoiled and have always worked myself. I met my fiancé Mark when I was 20 and working as a waitress. We began dating a few months later, and he proposed to me last year. Now Mark is not poor. He is upper middle class. And while he doesn't struggle in life, he didn't have too much to spend and lived very frugally. I thought he was an honest man because he always wanted to pay for his own things, reject expensive family holidays when we were still dating, and he would cook for me instead of going with me dining outside. What I want to say is that, I never had the impression that Mark was trying to take advantage of me or my family. In the beginning, my family was a little sketched out and brought up the gold digger argument, and I stood up for him and fought with my dad. They came to love and accept him. When Mark graduated, Dad hired him and now he is in a hiring position. Sunday, I was supposed to work in the evening and I was going to stay with my sister. But I got a fever and was basically just non-functioning, so I stayed home. Instead of staying in our bedroom, I made my way to the guest room that is better ventilated, has a mini fridge and its own bathroom. I didn't want to stand up at all and walk around, so I just bunkered all my stuff there and closed the door. Mark came home when I was fast asleep, and I was woken up by loud voices in our garden. I pushed the curtains a bit to the side, and Mark was there with a few friends. Just as I wanted to say hello, I noticed that they were talking about me. His friend kept laughing and calling Mark, the man. Then they started laughing about me being willing to not sign a prenup. Then one of the girls that was there said something along the lines of, "Jesus, you're about to make some bank, Mark." Mark laughed and said, "Yeah, just 3 more years and I am free." At this moment I felt sick to my stomach and wanted to throw up. I kept hearing them calling me trust fund Barbie and stupid, and so on. I didn't know what to do, so I just lied petrified in my bed, and waited till the people left and Mark went to bed. I texted my sister and snuck out to her place in the middle of the night, and just passed out without telling her anything. I haven't returned home, and just told Mark that I was sick and didn't want to make him sick. My sister has been really worried, but I just feel so ashamed about everything. My family was right, Mark is a gold digger and I fell for it. Even if I tell my family what happened, I have no proof. My father can't fire him just because he is a jerk. As far as I know, he is excellent at what he does, and he has no legal foot to fire him, I think. I just feel so confused, ashamed and angry, and would appreciate some insight. Edit: we are not Americans. Mark wasn't talking about anything else. He has no debt as he partly was under a scholarship, and with part of it I helped pay off. There is no way he wasn't talking about me. Edit 2, thank you all for your great advice. I opened up to my sister about it, and she is right now with me reading all your responses. We have called up Dad and I will talk to him tomorrow. I will be signing out for the time being, thanks again. Edit 3, some questions have come up. I don't drive, that's why my fiancé didn't see my car. I mostly Uber around. I worked as a waitress for the experience, not for the money, and I don't any longer. I don't work for my father, I am a company shareholder and I have to go to the general kvartal meetings, but I don't work for him. I am sure that it wasn't a fever dream. It was around 38.5 Celsius, and while it was enough for my body to hurt, it wasn't enough to have a vivid dream. By pass out at my sister's I don't mean literally medically passing out. Last edit: I am really tired that you guys are defending him saying that it could have been a joke. Guess what? It's not freaking funny. You don't degrade and disrespect your partner for laughs. You don't go along calling them stupid, trust fund Barbie, stupid witch, and you definitely don't make the remarks yourself. I don't understand that macho bravado as many of you have called it, but I don't think that's okay, so stop with those comments. It was deeply hurtful. Now for the top advice before reading the update. Change things up on him. Tell him you've thought it over, and would want to sign a prenup. Watch his reaction. Then leave his sorry butt. Yup. Hey, that prenup? If he fights you on it at all, you can just calmly say, well, trust fund Barbie wants to protect her assets. Especially in 3 years' time. And let him explain himself. He's a piece of crap. If I were you, I'd have fun making him squirm. P.S. Dad may not be able to fire him for being a piece of work, but Dad can now pay extra close attention, and maybe not let anything fly, like he may have been for his future son-in-law. This is an ugly calculated act of betrayal. Tell your dad. This guy intends to harm your entire family. Your dad will find a way to fire him, by the way. Might have to pay fiancé off depending on labor laws in your country, but there's always a way to dismiss employees. Mark, Trust Fund Barbie here. Just wanted to drop a quick note to the man, as your friends were calling you in the garden. I know you told your friends that just 3 more years and you are free. Don't worry about the 3 more years. You are free right now. On a positive note, no worry about a prenup now, since we aren't getting married. As for firing him, I am sure your father can figure something out. Tell everything to them. You don't need to be embarrassed at all. Your family will protect you. And trust me, any boss can find a reasonable excuse to fire someone. Thanks, that is genius wording. I will copy that text. And now for the update. I was very tempted to play the long game and lead him on. But I decided to just present him with a prenup to look into his reaction. After telling my dad, we invited Mark for lunch and would serve him the prenup there. However, to be sure about things, I asked him if he had anyone over, because our neighbors have complained about loud noises. He said yes, that his buddies were there. He didn't mention the girls that I saw. We finished lunch and Dad served him the papers, saying that it was a must for getting married. You could instantly see that he didn't expect this. He got angry, and asked me to speak to him alone. We went into the other room, and he began babbling about blindsiding him, and that this just really felt like a personal attack. He was trying so hard to sell me the role of victim, and making me out to be the villain. Then he just said that he needed to think everything through and left. I have to admit, I kinda broke down and began second-guessing myself, but I could keep it together. My family happily didn't pull the "I told you so" s. We looked into everything, and I have the legal right to evict him. The lawyer handled everything. Wrote an official eviction notice. And after a lot of talk, Dad decided to present Mark with a deal, so that he would leave the company. After that was all sorted out, I decided to just simply texted, as one of you suggested, "Hey Mark, Trust Fund Barbie here. As you said you would be free in 3 years, I'll do you a big favor and set you free now. Kisses. OP." My phone completely blew up with Mark's messages after I sent that. He texted and called me so many times, I had to switch off my phone. He came to my sister's place, as he wanted to explain the situation. He promised that it was just a joke, like a million times. I said it wasn't cutting it. They disrespected me in my own house, and I didn't want to be with someone that puts me down, in order to appear better. He pleaded, he cried, he begged me not to end things. When I wasn't budging, he got mad at me, accusing me of spying on him, and ruining his life. Honestly, I don't know. Then his manner changed once again to apologetic. He eventually owned up to the comment he made, still insisting that it was just a horrible joke. And then when I asked him why he didn't tell me about those random girls that appeared to know so much about me, he told me this weird story of them being cousins from one of his buddies, and that they know of me because of my Instagram. It's private and I have like 30 followers. I stood strong and I ended things with him. I will never know what exactly his plan was, but it's better to have things this way. We still have to sort out some financial stuff, but after that, I won't ever see Mark again. Sorry for any mistakes, I am really sleepy. Just thought it would be good to update you. Now for some top comments. One piece of advice, don't see him alone. Have someone with you at all times when he's around. He's going to try to love bomb you to get you back, and you don't need to go through that alone. Great job on taking charge. I wish you much happiness in the future. If it really was a joke, he would be insisting on signing the prenup to prove he loves her. You were right. I did have a moment of sympathy for him when I wondered if it really was him just appeasing his friends, a stupid and cruel thing to do no matter what, and he maybe didn't really mean it. But this is exactly right. I'm so impressed with you. Actually, beyond impressed. Also, I laughed out loud at the text you sent. Brilliant. Mark didn't see it coming. You're a badass and you handled this perfectly. He doesn't deserve you, and I wish you all the happiness in the world. Seriously, I wish I was strong like you. Now for the next story. Update. My 27 male girlfriend, 23 female, wants her name on the deed of my house. Don't know what to do. Please help. Sorry if this is a long post, but I really need somewhere to get this all out there. I live in New York City, and last year purchased a home for $2.4 million. I would have never paid that much for a house under normal circumstances, but the seller was struggling financially and was eager to make the sale. Property was already undervalued and is appreciating. Think Brooklyn neighborhood close to Manhattan, so I bought it. I know I haven't been around a long time, but ever since I was 17, in high school, owning a nice house has been the #1 financial goal of mine. I even changed parts of my professional career in order to help me achieve this goal, and the house has been everything I could ever dream of. My girlfriend and I have been together for 2 years, and this is the first really serious relationship I've ever had. Everything seemed to be going pretty good, but in the last few months, over this quarantine, she moved in at the start of quarantine. She has been consistently bringing up the idea of putting her name on the deed as co-owners. Before quarantine, she wasn't officially moved in, but she'd stay over for days at a time, and we would frequently host large parties. She told me in one of these arguments, which they have now become, that it makes her feel horrible when we host a party, and people come up to me and compliment me on the house. She says that I'm not doing enough to stay grounded and humble when this happens, and I am making her feel like she is less than me. She is saying this because she has a self-described crap dead end job in retail, making around $30K a year, whereas I am a lawyer with a private practice. She told me that if I really wanted to be our house since she has moved in, that I need to put her name on the deed as co-owners. She said that when we have a party or guests, how is she supposed to feel when people come up to me and thank me for having them in my house, since even though she has moved in, it wouldn't technically be hers. I thought that I was being accommodating of her because of the following. 1. Even though I pay all the expenses of the house in return for home ownership, don't charge her rent or anything like that, I still try hard to treat it like it's our house. We both agree on decoration, furniture, we both check in with each other when having people over, literally everything besides the legal deed makes it seem like we co-own. 2. To her point about me making her feel less than me, I offered to financially support her for a few months, so she can quit her job and figure out what it is in life she actually wants to do. She got offended by this and told me she didn't want charity, even though I didn't mean it like that, I was actually trying to help. 3. I told her that should we get married in the future, I'd gladly put her name on the house with me. To this, she opined that this was just a way for me to push the issue off into the future. She thinks if we got married, I wouldn't actually do it. 4. Like I said, this has been my goal since I was 17, and now I finally have it after 10 years. I plan to live here the rest of my life, and the thought of me putting her name on the deed, and then us breaking up and me losing the house, makes me extremely uncomfortable and sad. This is really my biggest concern, and today I tried to bring this up with her, and she started to cry and got really angry, because she thought the implication in me saying that, is that I was planning on breaking up with her. And she accused me of using her while not wanting something serious. This was honestly not at all what I meant by point number 4. Although after thinking about it, I can see how she might think that it was. We just had our biggest argument to date on this, regarding my point number 4, and it ended in her going to sleep in our guest room, and saying, "Fine, I'll just leave your bedroom since you clearly don't give a crap about us." I feel extremely bad about this entire situation. I have started to think that I am being way too greedy with my money, and a bad boyfriend, despite my intentions. I nearly went over to the guest room to offer to put her name on the deed, but I really wanted to post here first to get anonymous outsiders' input. Please let me know what you think. I am literally just sitting in bed alone right now, very sad. I also want to make it clear that us breaking up is off the table. I really don't want to just give up on the relationship. I wanted to make it work, because I do love her. Sorry for long read. Now let's read the top advice before the update. Do not put her name on the deed. She is being a bit immature and emotional. Your points are valid and reasonable. Don't cave to her, but maybe you guys can go to couples counseling, or she should go to individual counseling. She seems to be insecure in herself and / or the relationship. Relationships come and go. If it is meant to last, she can wait for marriage before you put her name on that deed. I wouldn't marry her anytime soon either, not until she sorts her insecurities out anyways. P.S. Not sure how New York works, but make sure that living together doesn't make it so she has rights to your property should you split. This, you aren't married, she doesn't need her name on the house. If you break up, that will put you in a horrible position. I've seen this happen with other people, where both contributed to expenses but unevenly, and it doesn't end smoothly if you split up. Nope. There is no way that even makes sense, and any financial manager would say that would be a huge mistake. If you were married at the time of the purchase, it would make sense. But your girlfriend who just moved in, who doesn't make enough to buy a $150K house let alone be an owner of a $2 million home. This is giving you some insight into how she views things, and it's not a good look. Even if you get married, I don't even know if you are smart to put her on the deed. With that amount of money involved, you have to protect yourself. Must be great for her to demand something she didn't work hard for? Right? I mean sure, y'all dated for 2 years, but did she put money down for that house? She's hosting large parties, but at whose expense exactly? Y'all aren't married. And even so, it's not her house. I didn't get on my husband's deed until well near a decade. And even then, I only did because by law in Texas, the wife has to be on it for a refee. And now for the update. So, a lot of people have been asking for updates on my situation, and a mod removed my post from relationships saying it belonged in financial advice, which I disagree with, as you will see in this update. But anyway, I am writing it and posting it here instead on my profile. So, when I woke up this morning, I have never felt such a big slap to the face as I did when I saw around 50 messages, all telling me that she is being manipulative towards me. I also had a few DM conversations with people, and one that stuck with me in particular, was someone who sent me this. So, I was a late bloomer. Didn't start dating until I was 19, and I've only had 4 serious girlfriends. One became my wife. When I finally hit my stride, I realized I had to be really careful. There were girls out there who realized I was a good guy and they'd hide their real selves a bit, because they didn't want to scare me away. On top of that, I had a bad idea of what a good woman was, because I just didn't know any better. The worst thing about it all was that, I think I was desperate for love, so I overlooked some really bad behavior from the woman I dated, right before I met my wife. Be careful out there. I get the feeling that you made it as a lawyer, and after working hard and never dating, and maybe not being desirable because you were a poor law student and lawyer for so long, that all of a sudden you have a plethora of women who are willing to date you, and you may have a hard time sorting the good from the bad. By someone whose name I won't say because I don't know if they want to stay anonymous. I think I related to this. I don't have extensive experience long-term dating, and I have always undervalued myself. I think after reading everyone's comments and getting that shock, of everyone overwhelmingly being supportive on my side, I realized that I truly did have blinders on, and was allowing myself to be manipulated. Now for the tea. I woke up this morning before my girlfriend, and after reading the responses and coming to this conclusion, I went straight to my guest room, woke her up, and super formally told her that I am breaking up with her for being manipulative, and that she needed to move out. I warned her that should she pursue the claim of this being her residence, I would not hesitate to get a restraining order, then take this to housing court. New York City law is very pro-tenant, so that's why I'd get a restraining order first. I am confident she won't do this, no money for lawyer. I'm not going to lie, it was extremely ugly, with a lot of screaming and crying on her end, but I made the whole situation extremely clear, and then I left to go to work. I am currently taking a break. I don't know what to expect when I get back, but I want to thank everyone who commented/DM'd me, for being so supportive and making me realize I was being played for a fool. I've also booked a therapy session in an effort to fix my lack of self-esteem, and what lead me to be in this vulnerable position, so it can't happen again. Now for the closing comments. My only concern now is if you'll find the house trashed when you get back from work. If it got ugly, then she may try to leave the place in ruin just out of spite. Unless you made sure she left, and got back any keys she may have been holding onto. Otherwise, I think you made the right decision. Since reading this the first time around, it really sounded like you were being manipulated, and making up excuses for why you were being a bad boyfriend/person. Good luck going forward. Well, she can trash the place, but she still won't be getting half the house. You just saved yourself a lot of regret and money. Good on you for catching on quick and not folding to her. She's replaceable, and you will find someone else who respects you more than she does, King. Keep your head up, King. I'm glad it worked out where you didn't put her name on the deed. However, if you ever do that in the future, both people need to be paying the mortgage and bills. It doesn't have to be 50-50. For example, my husband makes twice as much as me, so he pays twice as much on the mortgage, but don't ever have a name on the deed if the person isn't contributing financially, or in some other major way to the household. You can propose this to any future girlfriends if it comes up. Well, if you are going to be part owner of the house, you should start contributing to the costs, and be put on the mortgage. If we did it X way, it would be Y dollars. How do you want to set this up? See how they react. Any keeper would work out a reasonable plan with you. Congratulations on realizing the manipulation. You are obviously an intelligent young man, but you are a little naive in the ways of women. All throughout high school, and for many women, college, they have been honing their social skills. For the most part they are better than men at this. I am a 49 male and saw this early on in my 20s, and it has saved my butt on numerous occasions. You have a target on your back. You are the prize, not the other way around. You have high market value in the actual marketplace. You just need to realize that, and use it to find a suitable mate. Or not, it really is up to you. I have no idea what you look like, but if you are fit and healthy, you could have your pick of most women. Work on yourself, physique/self-esteem, and you will be golden. Always get a prenup as you have significant assets. And also, whatever you bring to a relationship before you and your SO meet, is yours alone. Good luck with everything, and always keep your eyes open and your head on a swivel. And that's it for this video guys. If you have thoughts to share, leave a comment below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you like this content. I'll catch you in the next one. Good day everyone.